The old van rattled down a forgotten road, deep in the Carpathian Mountains. Liam was driving, eyes fixed on the winding path. Next to him, Maya nervously checked a faded map. In the back, Chloe was trying to get a signal on her phone, while Noah just stared out at the dense, ancient forest. We were heading to a place called Whispering Pines, an old, abandoned cabin camp my grandfather used to talk about. He said it was beautiful, but he always had a shadow in his eyes when he mentioned it. A perfect spot for our yearly adventure, we thought. The sun was setting by the time we found the entrance. A rusted iron gate hung crooked on its hinges, groaning as we pushed it open. The air grew instantly colder. 4 small, dilapidated cabins stood in a clearing, like rotting teeth in a skeletal jaw. We chose the largest one, the so-called main lodge. It smelled of damp earth and decay. Chloe shivered, pulling her jacket tighter. "This place gives me the creeps," she muttered. Liam, ever the optimist, just grinned. "It's perfect. Authentic. No tourists for miles." He started a fire in the stone hearth, and its warm glow pushed back some of the oppressive darkness. We spent the first hour exploring, laughing at the peeling wallpaper and dusty furniture. But as night truly fell, a strange quiet descended. The usual forest sounds, the crickets, the rustling leaves were gone. It was just us and the crackling fire. That's when we heard it. A faint, rhythmic tapping. Tap, tap. It seemed to come from outside, near the woods. Noah grabbed a heavy flashlight. "Probably just a branch," he said, but his voice was tight. He opened the cabin door and shone the beam into the blackness. Nothing. The tapping stopped. We tried to laugh it off, blaming our overactive imaginations. We broke out some snacks and started telling stories, but the feeling of being watched was unshakable. Later, as we were getting ready to sleep, Chloe let out a small scream. We rushed to her. On the fogged-up window pane by her sleeping bag, a single childlike handprint was pressed against the glass. From the outside, we all froze. There was no way anyone could have reached that window without a ladder, and we were on the edge of a steep drop-off. Panic started to set in. Liam, trying to be the leader, grabbed the flashlight again. "Stay here. Lock the door behind me. I'm going to check." We pleaded with him not to go, but he was stubborn. We watched from the window as his flashlight beam cut through the darkness, moving towards the other cabins. He disappeared behind the second one. We waited. 1 minute. 2 minutes. 5. Then his flashlight beam reappeared, jerky and frantic, pointing back towards our cabin. But it wasn't Liam holding it. It was being dragged slowly into the woods. And then it went out. We didn't scream. We were too terrified. The tapping started again, louder this time, on our door. Tap, tap, tap. Maya was sobbing quietly, and Noah was barricading the door with a heavy old table. I was just staring at the door, my heart pounding in my ears. Through a crack in the old wood, I saw a shape. A tall figure wearing a grotesque, porcelain-like mask. It wasn't a human face. It was too smooth, too white, with empty black holes for eyes. It just stood there, tilting its head as if listening to our fear. The tapping stopped. A new sound began. A slow, scraping noise. It was coming from the roof. Scraping, dragging, right above our heads. We all looked up, paralyzed. Dust and bits of old wood rained down on us. Chloe pointed a trembling finger at the ceiling. A dark, wet stain was spreading across the old planks. Drip, drip, drip. A thick, dark liquid began to fall onto the floorboards. It wasn't water. Noah snapped. "The van! We have to get to the van!" He ran to the back window, the one without the handprint, and smashed it with a fire poker. One by one, we scrambled out, cutting ourselves on the glass. The cold night air was a shock. We ran, blindly, towards where we'd left the van. The scraping on the roof stopped. Behind us, we heard the cabin door splinter and break. Heavy, deliberate footsteps followed us. We didn't dare look back. We reached the clearing where the van was parked, or where it should have been. It was gone. In its place, arranged in a neat circle, were 4 small wooden dolls. They were crudely carved, each one wearing a scrap of fabric torn from our own clothes. My flannel shirt, Maya's scarf, Chloe's jacket, Noah's beanie. And in the center of the circle was Liam's flashlight, standing upright, its beam pointing to the sky like a lonely beacon. A low, guttural laugh echoed from the trees around us. Not human, something else. We were surrounded. We huddled together, backs to each other, our breath misting in the freezing air. The masked figure stepped out from behind a large oak tree. It wasn't alone. 3 other figures, all wearing the same blank, white masks, emerged from the shadows, slowly closing in on us. They moved without a sound, their feet barely touching the fallen leaves. They were just watching us, their heads tilted in that same curious way. Then, from the largest cabin, the one we just escaped, a 5th figure appeared. This one was different. It wasn't masked. It walked slowly into the faint moonlight, and my blood ran cold. It was my grandfather. Not as I remembered him, old and kind, but younger, his eyes hollow and empty. He smiled, a wide, unnatural grin, and held up a hand. In it, he held a 5th wooden doll. And as he began to carve a new face into it, the masked figures started to walk towards us. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe for more Tales from the Shadows. Stay safe out there.